Modal verbs in German language. Let's take a look how many modal verbs do we have in German and what are their meanings, why do we use them. So we have to understand that modal verbs, they modify the meaning of another verbs. So they never, almost never are used with another verbs, but such situations are possible in German as well. Good, let's imagine this situation. Two girls are sitting outside, drinking coffee or lemonade, talking about different things, and one of girls says, I want to go to very nice and sunny place, to Hawaii, for example. And another says, and I want to go to mountains, I want to do skiing, and so they do not doing these things, they just talk about them, so they use modal language, they use modality, so different modal verbs. I want, I can, I wish, I would like. So this is a modality. So what kind of modal verbs do we know in German language? So if we talk about ability, so physically, for example, to able to do something, to can do something. So we use the verb können, können. So when we talk about desires and wishes, for example, on a hot sunny day, I want ice cream. So we use the verb wollen. So when we talk about obligations, so somebody must do something, so I have to do something, I have to study, I have to learn. So we use the verb müssen. When we talk about obligation, but obligation such as expectations that comes from someone other than you. So if somebody will give you comment, request, please do it, and you understand that you have to do it, you should do it, you're supposed to do it. So we use the verb sollen. If you're not permitted to do something or you're permitted to do something, so it's about permission, we use the verb dürfen. And if you like something or somebody, we use the verb mögen. So those are modal verbs. Let's review them once again. Können, wollen, müssen, sollen, dürfen und mögen. So 6 modal verbs. How do we use them in German sentences? This is a little bit tricky situation because at the first time you will see that they have specific forms when we use them with the first, third, or second person singular subject. So let's say, for example, this is me, I, and I would like to use these modal verbs with me. I would like to say I can, or I want, I must. So how do we use them? For the verb können, I would say ich kann. So you see, we don't use ending a at the end, so conjugation is very specific. What we did, we just took the stem from the verb and we changed vowel in the stem. Ich kann. So for the verb wollen, I will say ich will. For the verb müssen, I will say ich muss. You see, we drop umlaut. For the verb sollen, I should, I will say ich soll. With the verb dürfen, I will use it as ich darf. You see, we change the stem. And for the verb mögen, I would say ich mag. So as you see, they have specific forms. Please memorize them as when you use them with ich. When you use them with do, you, my friend, so informal do, you use the same forms which are highlighted yellow in the second column. You just put ending st to the end. And for the third person singular, so for example, when one girl will say this, you will use the same forms as forms for first person singular. Look, she can do it, she wants to do it, she must. So we use sie kann, sie will, sie muss, sie soll, sie darf, sie mag. Okay, so specific forms, please memorize them. Okay, so let's analyze sentence with a modal verb. Let's, for example, this boy will tell, I can swim. So physical ability, I'm able to swim. Ich kann schwimmen. So when we analyze the sentence, we see that we use two different verbs in this sentence. One is the modal verb and one is the main verb, schwimmen. Schwimmen is used at the end of the sentence as the very last element of the sentence. It is always used in infinitive form. That means we never change this form, we never conjugate it, we never have this agreement between the main verb and the subject, and the ending will be always ending en. So it's practically the same form you can find in any dictionary. Ich kann schwimmen. Keep in mind, schwimmen or main verb must be always the very last element of a sentence. So we can enlarge sentence, we can add more elements to the sentence, but we have to finish our sentence with the verb. For example, we can create the sentence Ich kann gut schwimmen. I can swim very good. Or we can make it longer, saying Ich kann besonders gut schwimmen. I can swim very well, very good. So as you see, schwimmen is always at the end. Okay, let's take a look again on the sentence. Ich kann gut schwimmen. So as you see, we use the form kann. The form kann is in grammatic agreement, in subject-verb agreement with the subject ich, me. So when we talk, for example, about many people, let's say we, all of us, we will change only the modal verb. We will say, wir können gut schwimmen. As you see, schwimmen is used in the same form at the end, and we changed the modal verb können because we changed our subject. Now, subject is plural, many people, so we, all of us. So that's why we changed the modal verb. Sometimes we do not use main verbs with modal verbs. It's possible in English as well. In English, I can say, I want beer. No? In German, I can say the same sentence, Ich will Bier. But, even saying this sentence, we still think about what we are going to do with this beer. Of course, to drink it. So practically, we think about the verb trinken. So, and as long as we can omit the last verb, as long as everyone will understand what's going on and what the possible main verb will be at the end of the sentence, we may drop the verb. For example, in German, we can say that exhausted, tired person can say at the end of the working day, Ich muss jetzt nach Hause. So I have to go home. Ich muss jetzt nach Hause. So what can be possibly the main verb of this sentence? Of course, gehen, to go home. And when we talk about languages, when we speak language in German, we just can say, Ich kann Deutsch. So I can speak German. Again, Deutsch, so capitalized word, is actually a name of the language. So what you can do with language to speak it. So that's why we may use the verb sprechen at the end. But again, for all these sentences, we just may omit the main verbs and just use only modal verbs. Still, in our mind, we complete the sentences with corresponding main verbs. Okay, let's go back to our girls or to our ladies. So you remember they talk, they have conversation, and one of the girl will ask, Willst du morgen im Park trainieren? Do you want to practice tomorrow in the park? Now they want to practice together, I don't know, so some kind of sport probably. Look, how another girl may answer this question using modality, modal verbs. The girl can answer, Ich will nicht morgen im Park trainieren. Look, we use nicht in front of morgen. So in this sentence, even though this is a modal verb sentence, we negate actually only time, tomorrow. You see? So that's why if a second girl will say something like that, the first girl will ask, well, when then? So what time do you want to practice in park? So the question is, when? Okay, the second girl may answer saying this sentence, Ich will morgen nicht im Park trainieren. So what is the meaning of this sentence? Now we put nicht in front of place. That means the girl says, I want to practice tomorrow, but not in the park. So that's why we talk about different places. So the first girl may ask then, where? So what is the place you would like to be, you would like to practice in? And only when second girl will say, ich will morgen im Park nicht trainieren. This is the answer that means I don't want to practice tomorrow in the park. So we practically negate everything. So keep in mind, if we negate the sentence completely, not only one element of a sentence, but completely the entire meaning, the entire sentence, we placed negation nicht as the second last element in front of our dependent infinitive. Okay, can we use negation kind when we use modal verbs in the sentences? Yes. For example, this boy will say, or we talk about him, er will keinen Alkohol trinken. He doesn't want to drink alcohol at all. So we use keinen with the word alcohol. Alcohol is der masculinum, ending en. This is still our direct object, but we use negation kein. So the same negation we use, for example, for languages. Sie kann kein Französisch. So she cannot speak French. So we use kein in front of a noun, which we, as usual, we use without any definite articles. In this case, it's possible to use negation kein with modal verbs.